Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're doing well. My name is Alexandra Cherepano, and here on this YouTube channel, I'm usually talk about my artwork and about philosophic meaning and about everything around. But today I want to show you one art lesson. And if you like this, I like your comment and push finger and big finger and subscribe, of course, and you know what. So I say just a few words about what exactly we're doing. So it's a realistic drawing and it's classic art. It's academic drawing, we call it like this. And actually it's basic for every art. It can be design, it can be architecture, it can be uh, painting, it can be graphic, of course, and everything. And it can be classic art or modern art or contemporary art or whatever you like. It's no matter right now because it's basic for everything. And it's actually it's complicated because if you like it for classic art, you should make it very very strong and a long time. Uh, Usually it's making people starting it when they're child and make it in long and long years. But today it's not necessary because most people don't make classic art, and I think maybe a few times later it can be 15 or 20 years you spend just for academic drawing. Now it's usually it's not necessary, and in professional art, it's important way. You spend few years with realistic drawing, but today it's starting to be more and more easy and more modern. And I guess so today it's starting to be more and more shorter. I just show you a few lessons, and of course, if you like this, you can watching here on this YouTube channel. Sometimes I'm making lessons like this, and also you can text me and we can work one on one. You know, I'm tutoring like art teacher. So today we're starting with simple thing. We're starting with every students who begin in art with these subjects because it's really super easy. It's the first step what we do. How I make this? The point is, in classic art and realistic art, you don't repeat after me step by step. No way. You making your box. You take box, whatever box you have, put it far from you, like your hand, and just part of end of your finger you can touch this. Just little. So it should be far from you, and you don't touch this. You put it on table and don't touch. And then you washing on this and repeat, like you making copy, but not copy from different drawing or photograph. You're making copy from real life. The point is making copy from real life. So how we do this? First, what we're doing, we put this exactly on this position. Then I'm show you how I make this. It looks like this one. You know, in first time you don't need ether or something like this. In first time it's set enough for you. For your first lessons is all what you need. But then you can maybe, if you like this. Not all artists like ethers. Some of they like draw on the table, and some, for example, I like make it on the floor. Sometimes on the table if it's graphic art, it's almost on the table. So I put my box near me, and now I'm just drawing this how I see this. And first I starting with this one. It's a vertically line. How I know it's vertically or not? it's an easy and simple secret. This line is always perfect, and this one too. You just compare with this line. Or best way for you, put here exactly how you see this, and then try to understand it's a straight line or not, and maybe just little fixes. Don't worry if you fix a lot, because it's absolutely normal. We take pencil specially for this. We're making mistakes, it's normal. Professional artists making mistakes too sometimes, it's normal too. Don't worry about this. The next step, we're making diagonal line. What is this one? How we know this diagonal line good or not? I'm trying to show you, but it's actually complicated. I close one eye. My arm starting to be like a straight line, no way like this one, no, like a straight line. And then I'm trying to understand how exactly this diagonally going. I'm put it, I'm not put it, not touch. It's just like, for example, you can see this tree on my background, and I maybe compare this point and this point and trying to understand diagonally. It looks like this, and then I put it on my drawing and just remember how exactly it's going. It's not necessary, but it's really helpful. It's a really helpful way with diagonally. You can use it everywhere, not only in this drawing. It's good, good and simple. So next, I'm watching exactly on my box how it's going for me. For me, it's going one side like this one, and different part like that one. In first time, most of you don't understand how make this with diagonal, and it's okay. Just make how you can. Next step, we're making line on next level. Actually, it's all upside down for you. I'm return sometimes, but don't be confused. You know it's upside down. Now it's upside down. So I make it like this. And next step, we're making line here and here. This line actually parallel, but because perspectiva happen, perspectiva is a science about all subjects far from us more smaller, in general like this. So actually this part starting to be more smaller and it can be not exactly parallel. But because you're beginner in this, you can ignore this in first time, because it's not a train or really street or something really long. So it's a really short box, so you can ignore this in first time. I make this a little smaller. And you also can check yourself with diagonally how I showed you before. I'm use a few lines and then erase what I don't need anymore. You can make it same or make it how you like. And also important thing, a very popular mistake for beginner, you push too much on pencil. If you make this, you cannot erase this. I'm advised don't do this. For you, now I'm making just too stronger because without this camera don't see this. But you know, the point is what I mean. And if I try and erase, you can see how it's happened. More strong line is not erased. So I'm advise making like this one. So next step, we're making line here and here. It's very careful with this because it's very complicated thing for beginner and lots of people make a mistake here. So how we do this? In general, it looks like parallel, but it is not. And because you start in this, and if it's too complicated for you, just make it parallel, like 3 parallel lines. It's okay. But if you want to know more and trying to more, just make it little more inside. So it's similar like this one, but more inside, little more. I make a few lines and then I erase what I don't need anymore. So in general, it's like this. We have a few little problem here, and now we can fix this. We always have a little problem, and each next step we always erase all what we don't need anymore, fix little problems, try to make everything clean, careful, and everything. You know, it's very, very important. Why? Because if we don't, on next step we have more dirty and more little mistakes and more, and in general it starts to be, you know. Next step, I'm making all this lighter, like this one. I don't erase, I just make it lighter. And same thing, I also erase a little problem here. The next step, we start to work with shadow. We have always on shadows and falling shadows. On shadows, it's the shadows on the subjects, and falling shadows falling on the table or whatever. For example, from my pencil, falling shadows on the paper, and this pencil also have shadow and have a light place, and how every subject. On falling shadows always more darker if compared with on shadows. The point is you can see few falling shadows on your subjects. It's happened if you have a few lights in your room. For beginner, I'm advise making with one light. It's more easy. And if it's don't work for you, just make with more stronger light, more stronger shadow, and just with one. Later you can make with few if you want. And also all what I say you, it's advice, and I hope it's helpful, but good for you if you think how good for you, of course. For me, shadows looks like this one. Subjects like this. Maybe more. In general, it's like this. So, like I say, these shadows is more dark places in this drawing. And of course, I start to make this. And you see, I starting touching this only with horizontal line. Why? Because it's on the table and the table is horizontal. So I make this, and people who see this have like optical illusion, it's exactly on table. And if I make shadows here, I make its own form, and it makes optical illusion, so it's more volume. Trying to make it carefully, but don't worry if you just little make some mistakes, it's okay, we can erase everything. Just with dark shadows it's more complicated. Actually, with the subjects on shadows, it's always happen. More near subjects, it's always more darker. You can show this if you want, or just making this with one type of shadow. So actually, with in good drawing, uh, they people not repeat same thing. So every part of this drawing should be different, like in nature. Every part is different, and it's going like this way. But in first time, we have just one zone, and you can make this. I have a few problems here, and I erase this and make it good. It's always happened. Don't forget, we always fixing and make it cleaner, and you know. Next step, it's not necessary, but I'm advised to make this. Very often under box is line, and this line happened only when box touching something. For example, it's touching table, and of course here like this. So next step, we're making own shadows. Own shadows, uh, it's different thing, and it's always lighter if compared with foreign shadows, and it's always like repeating form the subjects. And here we have own shadows, middle, and light place. I'm advised making like this one. And you see it's dark, but it's different. It's not so dark out here. And you know, actually, it's never repeating. So some part of this should be more darker if compared with different part. If you can make this, make it. If you don't worry about this. You make it next time. Uh, you should have lots of practice with boxes like this or something like this, because it's important practice. We have same subjects or similar subjects a lot, and whatever drove, I think you need this exercises. And next step, making middle. I make it on vertical way again because it's vertical. You can guess. And maybe I make more dark as this part if I think they look similar, but not so dark how here. Should be not so dark. And next step, I memorize everything what I don't need anymore and make everything cleaner again. And this contour is too strong. I make it more lighter because it's more lightest placed. I make this on this way or that way. It's your choice. You can make with both way. It's more complicated thing for beginner making like light place. I don't show you see this good or not, but it should be very, very light. Just little, very gently like we're touching a baby. And in general it's all. But I'm advise also making background, because with background everything looks more realistic. Don't make like a real background or just little, because it looks like subjects not in space, not in air. It's really on the table. It looks more real, like this one. So in general, that's all. I hope you like this. And if you want to really start and be really good in realistic art, it's not enough. It's just very simple exercises for beginner. And of course you need more practice. Put it like this one with different lights and make it. Put it like that one on different position and make it. And like this one too. And also you can put different boxes on each other and watching how shadows mixing and everything going. So it's complicated, but it's very, very useful thing. It's really good. So I hope you enjoy this video. If so, push finger, big finger, biggest finger, subscribe my channel, and I'm also be happy to see you on one-on-one lesson. Have a nice day. Bye.